It looks like the Bernie Sanders campaign is listening to the people once again when it comes to these issues of potential election integrity mishaps. So let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikai Setsukatsu. And of course, as always, I am your humble host, Niko House. If you all may recall, yesterday I reported that Bernie Sanders field director in Los Angeles, for lack of a better phrase, just didn't know what the hell he was talking about. We won't get into whether or not it was nefarious or, just pure incompetence, but essentially he asserted that the information being reported by our team here at the MCSU Network over at the Convo Couch with Fiorella Isabel and Pasta Jardula, that they were spreading false information that could easily be found in a poll worker's manual, which of course they provided proof of. And then I once again re-reported it, and then we provided proof of it when we covered it yesterday. And then on top of that, Pasta and Fiorella even got a poll worker to anonymously report on all the election integrity issues, and not only just the issues that the poll workers are going through, but the information that is being put out there that is actually not true. Now, this field director was caught saying that it isn't, that they shouldn't retweet that or share that information coming from Pasta and Fiorella because it's not real. It's false information. Yeah. So on a lot of that was involving how to register, what you need to bring to register, like the new ID laws out there, things like that. Very important stuff. Bernie campaign responded pretty quickly. And I must say, I am very pleased to see them being as proactive as they have been on this issue. Obviously, he has a huge campaign. He can't catch everything. He can't catch everybody. He can't, it's a lot of problems to solve when you're running a 40 state, 50 state, type of primary, which is what he's doing. He already has, I think they even have a campaign office already open in Minnesota as we speak. They're on it, right? But with that comes issues. Realistically, as a person who's been a part of multiple campaigns, some of the people are moles. That just, it literally comes with, it's a norm. If anybody's participated in politics or has been an operative, you know this. But also some of it's just sheer incompetence. But no matter what, regardless of, you deal with that person however you need to deal with them, and you can figure that out in a different way. But when it comes to misinformation being spread or problems that need to be solved, that is the most important part, not how you might look if information might get out. And that should be the focus. And then so you should move into solution mode rather than figuring out, who do we blame? Because it's time to start publicly blaming somebody only if you start losing. And right now we have a chance to prevent that, and Bernie Sanders' campaign took advantage of this opportunity. Shortly, about a few hours after we uploaded that video, this is the email that went out. An update from the Bernie Sanders campaign. News: Bernie Sanders to return to California to get out the early vote rallies. I'll read it to you in case you're like watching this on your phone and you can't see it. So, Senator Bernie Sanders will return to California on Friday, February 21st, for Get Out the Early Vote rallies in Santa Ana and Bakersfield, which is in the LA, Southern California area. The campaign has made a concerted effort to turn out the vote in California and ensure that every eligible American citizen casts their ballot in the March 3rd primary election. The campaign has made an unparalleled effort to engage nearly 5.5 million no party preference voters who live in the Golden State. Bernie 2020 staffers will be on hand at both rallies to collect vote by mail ballots and then turn them into the county registrars. Okay, I cannot stress how important it is that if you have a vote by mail ballot, or if you have so vote by mail ballot doesn't also only mean that you send the ballot in through the mail, but that you get your ballot mailed out to you. I cannot stress enough, if you have a vote by mail ballot and you are planning on casting it for Bernie Sanders, give them the damn ballots at the rally. The reason I have not talked to anybody in the campaign about this, but given the recent history, if we're looking at Iowa, for example, they're paying attention to the tomfoolery and the chicanery, okay, that has been taking place by the Democratic Party and various pieces and players of the Democratic establishment at the state and local levels. So they're paying attention. If they're specifically requesting that you bring your ballots to these rallies, I don't give a damn really if you're from San Francisco. I don't give a damn if you're from San Diego. Go to this rally, hand them your ballots, get the name of the person that you handed the ballots to, because that's important too. And you want to do that because the Bernie Sanders campaign is clearly anticipating some tomfoolery. And this gives them accountability. That's how they did it in Iowa, where they were proactive in making sure that they could keep up with their own numbers. No, I mean, hell, actually, they might be 100% correct in Iowa. They might have been 100% correct, but it's very difficult to be 100% correct. But you can be 97% correct. You catch my drift? If the numbers, if the number of mail-in ballots turned in, for example, don't match the number that Bernie has, or at least is relatively close, or is far less than what, the mail-in ballots that they personally collected, that's a red flag that lets Bernie campaign know that they have to challenge the election. If there are a huge number of provisional ballots, despite the fact that no party preference ballots were turned in, or Democratic voter ballots that may be new registration were turned in. If there's a huge provisional ballot, but there is a high number of registrations and a high number of ballots turned into them personally, but that number is for whatever reason reduced in the final results, that gives them a way, once again, to challenge them and know that they have a leg to stand on and win. So that's very important. If you have a ballot that you need to turn it into the Bernie Sanders campaign if you have not already mailed it off. Going forward, it says, so this is from Bernie Sanders, I think, a quote from him. Our campaign is doing everything we can to educate voters about the easiest ways to cast their ballots for president, said Bernie 2020 California State Director Rafael Navarre. No party preference, and independent voters deserve every opportunity to participate in the democratic process. And that's why we have been on the ground since day one, educating Californians about the ins and outs of voting. So let me be clear about something. Clearly, I'll be honest with y'all. Somebody got hemmed up. Because when the staffers that contacted us were worried about this very thing, that they weren't being equipped with the correct information to educate the voters on the ground, they were told to shut up. And that's why they went out and contacted us, from poll workers to staffers to volunteers. That's why they contacted. So somebody clearly got hemmed up, and that's why this went out. But I'm glad that the Sanders campaign is being as responsive to these issues as they have been. So once again, it says Bernie 2020 has seen an outpouring of support in the Golden State, particularly among young and Latino voters. The California campaign has built an unmatched organizing machine in California with 105 paid staffers, 22 offices open across the state. To date, the Bernie Sanders 2020 California team has already knocked on nearly 900,000 doors, including more than 175,000 last week alone. Made more than 5 million phone calls to California voters and received more than 165 endorsements from California elected officials. So, what does this tell me? What is this of potential or he's going to be in LA. And if he's going to be in LA, he's going to be in LA on February the 21st, ladies and gentlemen. And if he's in LA on February, because he's not going to be able to be in Nevada, that actually means he's taking this, from myself as an election integrity activist, as Pasta from Pasta and Fiorella, who are also election integrity activists, who have been gathering this information, videos, content, preparedness for this moment. We appreciate you not pushing these issues of election integrity to the wayside, versus to educate voters on voting and making sure their vote counts, and then creating a way for accountability in case things don't go south. Like I said, as an election integrity activist, couldn't be happier. So in both, once again, not only in Iowa, but in California too, her and Craig worked very hard. So Fiorella, you know how I feel about that. Fiorella does not get the credit she deserves. What that means in this movement. But with that being said, it has not deterred her from fighting. And it has not deterred her from working hard. It has not deterred her, the attacks against her, people trying to silence her when she's been right, not once, but twice. And that's a whole nother video we'll get into. But she's been right not once, but twice, people. And people are still attacking her. Everybody was quick to jump on her and tell her she was wrong. But then when she was proven right, and now the Bernie campaign is prepping for California, and they now have the appropriate results in Iowa, enough results that they believe they can overturn the election, which is a different conversation. And guess what? Excuse me. And guess how many precincts? 12 precincts. If you all recall, Fiorella reported on Twitter that there were 12 precincts that were unmanned. And that was, by the way, from a direct email from the campaign that was given to the MCSC network. So anybody who was claiming that wasn't true clearly isn't in the loop the way they thought they were, because that was directly from the campaign. And it shouldn't have been that way, which we found out from the higher ups in the campaign. But because Fiorella blew the whistle on it, not only was it taken care of, it was taken care of that day. Because once again, when people get hemmed up, when people start worried about their job security, all of a sudden everything gets reconciled real damn quick. The MCSC network will go through the proper channels to try and get the correct information. But once you start dodging, well, we just start calling out names, because y'all damn sure respond to that. Isn't that right, Mr. Lewis? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into that live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. If you had trouble watching this live stream video, don't worry. It will be posted on rockfin.com/Niko as well very shortly after this is over. So you can watch it there without the skipping and the lagging if you experience that. Shout out once again to Fiorella. And shout out once again to Pasta for their amazing election integrity activism. Just personally, y'all know that this channel started from election integrity activism. It's still a staple in our brand. Today, I'm going to speak with Jared Liz, Tim Canova, and a team of lawyers and counsels on the DNC fraud lawsuit, which originated from election integrity activism. This is what we do, and this is something that we will always do. And to have two people on the team that, once again, they are unsung heroes. They work 3, 4, 5 times as hard as anybody else in this movement, and will get a quarter of the credit that they deserve. And that's a damn shame. But they're not doing it for the recognition. But I will tell you this: they absolutely deserve all the recognition. And if things go right in LA, if things go right in the Santa Ana, Southern California area, and Bernie ends up pulling out a huge victory, or if they don't go right and Bernie sues and wins because he's able to hold people accountable, and they were able to work in advance to figure out this information, Fiorella and Pasta deserve the credit. They do. And so if anybody ever in their life gets it in their head that they can doubt the resolve and the convictions of my team, correct that shit. Better yet, tag me. I'll correct it for them. Because you see the work that these people put on the ground. You see the work that these people do to find the interviews that they find. You see what Fiorella did. Not only did she expose something in Iowa before she got to Iowa, then she hopped her ass on a plane, got there, and not only was reporting on the caucuses, but was doing her investigating reporting as well, and broke news that everybody used, but nobody gave her credit for, about Precinct 80 and the fact that Bernie Sanders had a coin flipped in a precinct where he was handedly the winner. Fiorella broke that information. The viral videos discussing that information included Fiorella. People talked about that information. Nobody gave her credit. Nobody brought her on their show. Then literally a day and a half later, she was on a plane to New Hampshire doing the same damn thing. As soon as she gets back to LA, they go right back into the Californian primary where they bring on a poll worker. Fiorella's working with people on the ground, volunteers, staffers, etc., to figure out where the misinformation is coming from and going out of her way to correct the record there. These people do amazing work. They do amazing work, and they absolutely deserve the credit that a lot of these people, for some reason, continue to get over them. And then they'll even attack them and attack their convictions and attack Fiorella for being principled, because she'll defend Tulsi even though she's a Bernie supporter. And of course, some will, Pasta endorse Tulsi, but he also supports Bernie as well, and fights for both of them. And they'll attack him and they'll say that they're, like, come on, bro. Y'all not doing shit that Pasta and Fiorella are doing on a daily with jobs. Pasta has a full-time job and he's on the ground doing the hard work. Fiorella has a part-time job now, still doing the hard work. Johnny, the producer, who does all the production and the video editing and the recording and the graphics. He's their graphic designer, their producer, their video editor, and their cameraman. He has a part-time job. And they're out here doing all the hard work and then taking all the heat where people are questioning their convictions to this movement. Don't you ever, bro. Don't let me find that shit out. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Mitch, thank you very much for the super chat. Donate to the Convo Couch GoFundMe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they're going to be traveling. We're going to be traveling. I'm going to travel to Cali for that primary. Then we're all going to go to New York for the New York primary, because you already know what time it is out there. So go donate to the GoFundMe for the Convo Couch. I'll repost my GoFundMe sometime this weekend once I get the dates locked in. But yeah, we need to celebrate when people do the work that these people do. Go if you have not yet, make sure you go subscribe to them. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into that live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Shout out to the Sanders campaign. Keep that up. That's what we need. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, if YouTube is giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps. Other than that, always remember, people, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.